The Euphrates is known to be the longest river in West Asia. The Euphrates originates from Turkey and flows through Syria and Iraq and finally joins the Tigris and the Shatt al-Arab. The Euphrates and Tigris hold great importance to the Mesopotamian civilization. By the census of the 1990, it shows the impact of the construction of dams in the Euphrates. The construction of dams caused an increase in discharge from the Euphrates, and this resulted in the river to dry up. Does this mean we've come to the end of the world? Well, let's see. Hello folks, and welcome back to OnQuest. In today's video we are going to take a look at the new discovery in the Euphrates that scares scientists. Make sure to watch until the end. Climate change and global warming have caused the irregular occurrence of seasons all over the world. Many places had a radical increase in temperature. Iraq and its surrounding countries are the ones that were affected most due to the increased temperature. The increase in temperature has caused endless drought throughout the country. This drought has affected the lives of the people who are dependent on the main water sources. Climate change has caused endless droughts throughout the country due to the prevailing drought for the last few years. The rivers started to recede, which caused the emergence of many historical artifacts. Looking at the bright side, the drought has caused the re-emergence of the numerous archaeological sites which were under the water for many years. Even though the natives were aware of the existence of these sites, they didn't go out of their way to explore these sites, but when the archaeologists came to know about these sites, a window of opportunity opened before them. There were endless possibilities of things that they could explore. This was a new discovery in the front of the whole world. Nobody had any idea about the lives of the people who lived. They didn't know which era they belonged to, and everything about them was a mystery waiting for them to unveil. While the drought was a good thing for archaeologists, it was a dreadful experience for the people who depended on the water sources. One such site is Anbar, which was written off as a deserted area for years and has opened up many new archaeological facts. The receding of water caused the historical artifacts to re-emerge from the water. This area was considered to have no historical importance, but now it's one of Iraq's most historically significant sites. Some of the sites in Syria and Iraq have been excavated in the past. These settlements are dated back to 3000 BC to the Roman period. The re-emergence of these sites caused the receding of the water and has granted access to these sites once again. Even though these sites have undergone considerable damage by the water, they hold great importance and value, and due to this they have a hard time completing their work after all these years. There have been many discoveries like this in the Euphrates. This was an unexpected discovery and is at high risk. The site is rich with jewelry, coins, documents, etc. Professional thieves have an eye for something like this. They can make a considerable profit by selling archaeological artifacts. Feeling curious to know more? Well, stay tuned to the end of this video. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, then what are you waiting for? Another challenge is restricting the locals from looting the site. Since the drought, most of the people whose livelihood depend on the Euphrates have lost it, and they are in dire need of getting their life back. So they loot the archaeological site and pick up things without understanding their real worth. This has caused the missing of much valuable information about the settlement and other things. The drought has led to the reappearance of the Bronze Age city. Since the city was under the water for so many years, no prior archaeological excavation was done on this site. The Mitanni Empire is a 3,400-year-old empire that was prominent from 1550 BC to 1350 BC. This is a renowned archaeological site with many large buildings and a palace. The sudden appearance of this city has forced archaeologists to excavate the site. Since this is a big city, it's impossible to excavate it all at once, so parts of it are being excavated. They didn't have much time on their hands since they were not sure when the water would rise again. While doing that, certain things should be kept in mind, like they should not leave out any critical parts because it would be impossible to revisit the site, and there is no guarantee that these will be in the same condition as before. Another scenario in front of them is the deterioration of material underwater. A long time of exposure to water may cause the gradual deterioration of the materials, which will cause the permanent losing of valuable information. For the proper investigation of the site, the rescue excavation was put together within a short period. The researchers were successful in mapping out the whole city within a short time. The mapping helped identify the city's essential parts, which helped collect data and documentation. The mapping uncovered many landmarks. Apart from a palace, many significant buildings were found also. There were towers, monuments, storage buildings, two-story buildings, and industries. Along with this, there was also a well-structured fortified wall. All these landforms point towards a well-urbanized city complex. The Empire Mitanni controlled the northern part of the Mesopotamia. The archaeologists have concluded that the storage buildings in the city were used as storage facilities for goods from all over the region. What surprised the researchers the most was the state of the walls and vessels found there. These walls were made using mud and sun-dried mud bricks. These walls are about 3,500 years old, but they are still standing still. Even though they might have been under the water for the past few decades, or the fact that they are made from highly brittle material does not seem to have any effect on them. The situation of the clay vessel is also the same. They are also undisturbed after all these years. The main reason for this accurate preservation is the hitting of the earthquake. The earthquake caused the upper part of the city to crumble, forming a blanket over the walls and the vessels, which caused the undisturbed state of the materials. Another important discovery from this site was cuneiform tablets, which were kept secure inside 5 ceramic vessels. It's believed that the tablets contain letters and words. This could be a vital discovery that will shed light on the life of the people in that era. This way, we can all clearly understand their life and their civilization. There is the possibility that the site is an ancient city of Zakiku. Zakiku is a major city in the Mitanni Empire and one of the states found in the northern Mesopotamia. The Mitannis and the Egyptians fought for control over Syria until they found a truce. The Mitannis were conquered by the Hittite Empire, and then it was conquered from the Hittite Empire by the Assyrians. Precautions are being carried out to reduce further damage to the site by rising water. They don't have any means of determining when the water will rise, so the archaeologists have entirely sealed the excavated buildings using plastic sheetings and gravel. This is to protect the walls and other valuable finds, and any other finds lost and still hidden in the ruin during the time of flooding. The most important information was gathered from the palace found on this site. The palace was discovered in Commune on the east bank of the river in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. It is hoped that the remains will reveal details about the politics, economy, and history of the Mitanni Empire. This is described as the most incredible and important archaeological discovery. The palace is speculated to be 65 feet from the river, built on a platform that overlooked the valley. The remains of the palace prove that it was well defined and stood out by itself. The palace had floor slabs and plastered walls, proving that the Mitanni Empire was ahead of its time. There were also remains of walls painted with colours like red and blue. This proves that murals and paintings were familiar during that time. These findings helped researchers conclude that essential and unique buildings were painted as a symbol of power and hierarchy during the time. The drying up of the Euphrates River has raised concerns among scientists. The river, which once used to be the mightiest in West Asia, is now drying up fast. The water level has been reduced to an alert level. This caused fear in scientists because it was coming true. As Prophet Muhammad once said, quote, "When the great Euphrates River dries up in the country, a mountain of gold will appear," end quote. Also in the Bible, Revelation 16:12 says that, quote, "Then the 6th angel poured out his bowl of the great Euphrates River, and it dried up so that the kings from the east could march their armies towards the west without hindrance," end quote. This indicates the breakout of the apocalypse. According to these prophecies, it's believed to be the start of the end. This may be myth or may be a fact, but there's no way to know for sure. So we hoped you've enjoyed today's video. Tell us down in the comment section about your opinions on the Euphrates. Refer to other videos on our channel to see more content like this, and we'll be back with another exciting video. But until we meet you guys with another video, it's goodbye.